Hi there, welcome to this video where I'm going to go in search of a kingfisher. I'm going to start this video a little differently. Taking pictures of kingfishers is really difficult and I had to do lots of preparation, and this video turned out to be so epic that I've had to split it into two parts. So part one is all about how I had to build a hide to get ready for taking the pictures. Part two, I continue to build a hide and eventually get round to taking some shots of a kingfisher. So sit back, get yourself a drink, put your feet up and enjoy part one. You join me this morning as I wander down to a neighbour's property. He came and saw me yesterday and said that he sighted a kingfisher 3 or 4 times this week, and so it's probably worth going down this morning to see if I can see it. We've got no hide set up. We have talked about setting up a hide, but we haven't done it yet. Now you may have seen a previous video that I filmed at this property where I saw some owl chicks. So I did set up a hide to take photos of them, so we have talked about moving that to a different location. We haven't done it yet, so I'm just going to see what we get today, and if it's promising, then we'll move the hide. The prospect of taking the kingfisher is really exciting, really looking forward to it. Don't forget, it's all about enjoying your photography. This is the awkward part now. My friend did give me an indication of where the kingfisher has been seen landing, so at the moment I've cleared a little bit of a path through these grasses at the side of this pond, and I've sat down, so they're providing partial cover for me, a bit like a hide. But again, until I observe this kingfisher and see it a few times, I don't know where its landing patterns will be. I've got a feeling that this log that it's landing on is going to be a little bit far away, and it's quite dark at the moment because it's covered with overhanging trees, so I'm having to lift the ISO quite high. So if I do see it, I'm not sure it's going to be the best of pictures, but it'll give me a good idea of where to move the hide when we do position a hide somewhere. I did get a question from a subscriber asking how to see a kingfisher, and I wish I knew that as well. Unfortunately, it's just a waiting game. Even though I know I'm in a location where there's been a regular sighting of the kingfisher, I've probably been sat here now 20-25 minutes and seen no signs. So far I've seen a moorhen and some mallards, and that's about it. So patience and a bit of luck is what counts. I think I'm being a little bit too optimistic, expecting to get a shot of this kingfisher on the first try without any work. I've probably been sat here now for about an hour. Again, still not seeing much more. I'm starting to think of the hide being quite necessary, plus the logs where the kingfisher has supposedly landed are probably a little bit too far away. I could get a picture definitely, but I couldn't get anything with any great detail. So I think I am going to have to work a little bit harder, probably have a word with the owner, come down later and set up the hide, but I'm going to stay here a little while longer just at the moment. I've spent about 2.5 hours sitting waiting for the Kingfisher, but haven't seen it. And I suppose in a way I was a bit naive to expect to see it straight away. But what I have done is I've seen the owner and we've discussed moving the hide. So I'm going to do that this afternoon after I've just done a little job this morning. So join me this afternoon when I come back to build the hide. So it's now the afternoon. I've had some lunch, I've got changed, I've got a wetsuit on just in case I do get wet. The pond apparently isn't very deep, but I'll probably find some places where it is, or I'll end up falling in knowing my luck. It'll make good content, it'll be amusing, but if I've got the wetsuit on, I've got nothing to worry about. So I'm going to film this now rather than filming while I walk, because I'm carrying quite a few tools. So join me back down at the pond. So I'm back down at the pond, and the first task is going to be to try and find the hide that I built for the owl chicks. It's in all of this undergrowth behind me. It appears to have really grown up an awful lot since I was here last. So it's going to be quite a challenge to get to it first of all. So I'm going to do that first of all and just see what it looks like and how easy it will be to move it to the position I want. It's absolutely typical. This morning it was quite chilly, and this afternoon it's warmed up to about 20 degrees and I'm here in a full wetsuit. So it's going to be warm work. I'll be glad to get in that pond. I've found it. Eventually I've cut the path through to where I built the hide for the owl chicks. Still all seems fairly good. What I've got to do now, I've got to move it over in that direction to the edge of the pond. That's going to be fun. As you can tell probably already, I'm pretty warm, partly because of the warmth of the day and partly because of the wetsuit. But I don't think I've actually got to move it very far. The problem is it's going through the water. So I think before I do that, I might have a little test to see what the ground's like underneath before I start moving that thing. So I'm going to try and film as I'm exploring this route. I've got a stick to just test the ground. At the moment, that's what it looks like. So I've got to get through that lot to get to the pond. It's not actually very far, it's literally only the other side of those pink flowers. But this is where the stream runs into the pond, so it's fairly damp underfoot. So let's have a go. Apologise if the video is a little bit shaky. It does actually feel fairly firm at the moment. I'm actually standing in the stream, and the stream actually does feel fairly firm. So I'll get rid of these. Hopefully I'll clear a path fairly comfortably. Oh, that's a big one. That's deeper than I expected. Oh, actually this is very firm just here. That's that reposition. Right. Yeah, I'm probably about up to my ankles now in water. It's okay. It feels a bit, looks a bit like the jungle. Yeah, up to the calves in water now. There we go. There we go, we're through to the pond now. So it's actually quite easy. It'd be a lot. That was slippier than I thought. I think I might just venture up onto this bank here. Oh, despite this looking fairly solid, it's not. There we go. Found something that's a bit more solid. Woo! So I've got through, but what I want to try and do is get the hide over there. That could be a challenge. I think I'm going to leave the camera here and not try and take it with me in case I end up going in. Woo. I don't know how much of that I managed to catch on camera, but it was hard work. I did manage to get to the place where I thought of putting the hide, but at one point the mud was right up to the top of my thigh. In the end I came out on my hands and knees because it was the only way I could not sink into the mud. This is going to be hard work. Unfortunately, that's where I'm going to leave part 1. In part 2, I continue to build the hide, and you can find out how long it took me to photograph the Kingfisher. So watch out for part 2, that'll be up on the channel next Sunday at 4 o'clock. If you haven't already subscribed, make sure you do that. There's a link down below and you can click on my photograph here. But all that's left now, until next Sunday, is for you to stay safe, and I'll see you soon.